Well, hi, there you are. Welcome back to the garden. Today is January 1st, 2023. Happy New Year. We're defining the walkway a little bit while we got some nice weather. Tuesday is supposed to plummet again. We'll have to button everything back up. But it's 60 degrees right now. What better thing to do than come out and work in the garden? Now on Fridays we usually plant. We would have planted this Friday, but we had a medical emergency involving Riley. I'll get into that in a minute. He's going to be okay. But for right now, let's go ahead and plant. Come on. Now we planted a whole bunch of beets in this corner, and a bunch came up, but we only have a few left. But with some of the leaf damage that we got in here, I know it did get quite cold in this particular cold frame, so I'm thinking these got a little cold for as young as they were, or my 8-month-old kitten laid on them. Check out what he's been doing. Goofy, get out of there. Come on, buddy. I gotta worry about critters eating it and then you're laying on it. Come on. It's still okay. We still have some coming up, but that gives us more room to plant. We're gonna plant some purslane. In a lot of areas, purslane is considered a weed, but it's supposed to be very tasty and is a really good ground cover. Once you get it established, it's established. So we're gonna go ahead and use this as part of our living mulch. And inside this cold frame where we don't have a lot on the ground covering it up, this is gonna be a perfect place to start it. Well, these are tiny little seeds. That's about all I'm gonna put down. Now let's just rough up a little patch. And this, like lettuce, it says do not cover, it needs the sun to germinate. So we're just going to do a root stout. I'm going to put a few on the surface and see what happens. Pat those in. And that ground is still good and moist. So that's got good soil contact. We'll see what we get. Alright, let's talk about Riley. When we came in on Thursday, everything was fine. After we ate, he shook his head once. That's usually a sign that he wants to go out. But we noticed all of a sudden his ear puffed up like a balloon. And there was fluid in there. We got really concerned. We called the vet. And they said bring him in first thing in the morning. So we didn't feed him anything because they kind of had an idea it was a hematoma. And in a dog that size, it's not real common, but it happens. And if you don't treat it, it will just continue to swell and it'll close off their ear canal. And eventually they'll get a cauliflower ear. So we took him in on Friday morning, yes, and that's what it was, and he had to have emergency surgery. It was small enough they didn't have to put a tube in, so we got lucky there. But on this white fur, it looks pretty tough. Now Riley's gonna be okay, but we probably won't see him in the garden for a while. We're gonna have to keep this clean, and if you've seen Riley roll around out here in the deep mulch, that's gonna be a tough deal. But I just thought you might wanna know. If you wanted to help Riley in his convalescence, you could hit that join button down there. You'd be buying me and Riley a cup of coffee while he gets better. You wouldn't hurt my feelings. Check out this kale. We've got 2 rows with germination going on. And in here, this middle row is germinating. Yesterday, there wasn't anything coming up. Oh, and the back row. Wow, that row's going really good. Got a couple over here. Real careful pulling the leaves off that you don't pull up your plants. By tomorrow we ought to have stuff coming up there. That row's doing well. Look at that. We got stuff sprouting in each one of these. Wow. Oh, there's a bunch. We've got sprouts in almost every one of these mini greenhouses from the 10-day planting challenge. And of course the first thing that came up were the daikon radishes. You want to learn about the deep mulch garden? Just follow the yellow brick road. That was one of my favorite movies as a child. Seriously, I do appreciate everybody that's followed this story of the deep mulch. You can do this too. And from the looks of these mini greenhouses, we're set to start the year off in pretty good shape. Now remember, until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family. Have a happy new year, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant. Let's go plant garden.